Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. Now today's video is a little bit of a fun one, to be honest with you. We're going to discuss some potential return gimmicks that Bray Wyatt could bring back upon his WWE return. Now yes, this isn't confirmed. Bray Wyatt, of course, we can't rule this off, may never come back to WWE. However, the chances are ridiculously high. There's a number of extremely credible sources backing up a strong chance that he's coming back. It could be as soon as Clash at the Castle. I hope so, of course. I'm going to be there. I'm going to lose my mind again. It could be Extreme Rules. It could be Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, Day 1, Royal Rumble. But ultimately, it's going to be a time and place that Triple H and Bray Wyatt himself feel is best. And they could be keeping us in suspense. All the subtle hints that have been dropped, potentially dropped regarding Bray Wyatt over the last few weeks, could be signs, breadcrumbs leading to Clash at the Castle. Or maybe not. Maybe it could be later down the line. One thing I will say is with the Bray Wyatt return, you want it to be a surprise. You want it to be a shock. You want the eyeballs popping out reaction. And that's the way I want it to be, which is why I'm going to be hiding for the next couple of days under a rock, staying away from social media. I don't want any spoilers, surprises. The next time I will see wrestling content will be in the Cardiff Stadium, watching Clash at the Castle unfold and potentially seeing Bray Wyatt return. He may not, but if he doesn't, it could be someone else down the line. So, talking of his return. Now, this is not confirmed for 100% truth, but allegedly, there have been some pitches within WWE Creative, and this could have been from Triple H, numerous members within the team, or potentially Bray Wyatt himself, regarding a potential 3 faces of Foley-type gimmick to be brought into WWE. And I love the idea of this so much. One, because Bray Wyatt is a creative genius. He can flex his creative muscles in all types of elements. If you look at the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray, for example, this could be one of the 3 faces. It brings comedic value, yeah? There's so much you can do, and you can actually have the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray lose cleanly, and you wouldn't think any less of Bray Wyatt as an overall dynamic, right? I like that. I love the fact you can bring him into a Raw or SmackDown. You have that comedic element, and some of the most, I just love some of the segments within the Firefly Funhouse. Rambling Rabbit, absolute legend. R.I.P. I lost count of how many times he's died and come back. Mercy the Buzzard, Huskus the Pig Boy, Abigail the Witch. I love it. I absolutely love it. It just brings a smile to my face. You've got the comedic element there. Then you've got the more psychological cult leader version, the Eater of Worlds version of Bray Wyatt, which is great because you know damn sure he can wrestle. Go back and watch WrestleMania 30 and the whole John Cena matchup. That's one hell of a matchup. Those that say Bray Wyatt is limited within the ring, you need to do one. He's actually quite underrated. Yes, he's not going to put on matches like, I think of Adam Cole in AEW or a Kenny Omega, or a Ricochet type match. Of course he's not, but it allows Bray Wyatt, that gimmick, the Eater of Worlds gimmick, to flex so many muscles within that. I absolutely love that version of Bray Wyatt. You could include that as the second face. And of course, then you can move on to the third face of Wyatt, which it'd be daft not to have the Fiend, because the Fiend is like the weapon. He's like the ultimate boss. He's the dominant monster. Now, you don't want to book him too dominant. You don't want him kicking out with 1,000 curb stomps like we saw at Hell in a Cell 2019. But book him as a weapon. He's the special attraction gimmick that you only really see at premium events. That would be cool. Like if you had Roman versus Bray, for example, Roman versus whatever incarnation of Bray we see, whatever face he would choose, then he would obviously pick the Fiend, wouldn't he, to face Roman. That's like his ultimate boss man, yeah? And that would be the way I would do it. And you remember, after all, Roman Reigns did call Fiend a freak in a mask. He told him he couldn't handle the responsibility of WWE. So it kind of makes logical sense to use that at the top tier, that top tier in WWE at the moment being Roman Reigns. But if you have a 3 faces version of Wyatt, it allows so much variety and flex, and you can work numerous storylines and angles, which I love, and you can refer back to past dealings. If we look at Roman Reigns and The Fiend, bringing him back to just destroy Roman Reigns and take the title would be daft, because again, many of the reasons, and again, this is just my opinion, why The Fiend didn't work the best it could have done creatively within WWE, is that they rushed him into the main event title scene. They made him too dominant too soon, and then of course he lost the belt to Goldberg, because really there were points where there were limitations where they could go with that. And yes, the Fiend could have the title and have numerous rivalries that would be groundbreaking. However, in terms of creatively moving forward, there are then limitations. You have those other two faces, you can work that. You look back to Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, their rivalry stems all the way back to 2015. Roman Reigns beat Wyatt for a qualifying match on a Raw way back to enter the Money in the Bank briefcase match. And of course, Wyatt wasn't very happy about that, attacked Roman Reigns, cost him the briefcase. Those two had a match up at Battleground. Wyatt actually beat Roman Reigns at Battleground because Luke Harper, rest in peace, you legend, came out and they sort of had a reformation, a rejiggle. I believe Eric Rowan was out injured at the time. Harper came back, and then of course we saw the introduction of Braun Strowman to the faction. They had numerous tag matches between Ambrose and Reigns and multi-person matches, and their feud finished at Hell in a Cell that year when Roman Reigns defeated Bray Wyatt. And then since then, the interaction we've seen, although smaller interactions through that point, but main interactions to that point being at SummerSlam 2020, when Roman Reigns cost the Fiend. Really, didn't he? From that point, came out, attacked him, the next pay-per-view at Payback, took the title, albeit wasn't pinned, and you're going to want revenge. But that's the Fiend that's going to want revenge there. So that kind of makes sense. Now, if you have a three faces version of Bray Wyatt, and we look at Clash at the Castle, for example, assuming he could return there, then there's ways that you could integrate all three versions of Bray. Now, it is worth noting that he could have two completely new incarnations alongside the Fiend. So we can't rule that off, and you can be damn sure, you can bet your bottom dollar that Bray Wyatt is working some creative genius behind the scenes to maybe bring something new in. But if you've got three versions, you could have like the Firefly Funhouse version turn up in the Seth Rollins Riddle match. We know that Seth Rollins and the Firefly version of Bray Wyatt have had an interaction in the past. Of course, that culminated in the Fiend defeating Rollins for the title way back when. But you could have that, so more of a psychological kind of side with maybe some comedic timing in there as well. We think of the Seth Rollins character at the moment. He's a nutter, isn't he? He's like literally the Joker. So that would work quite well there. Alexa Bliss, you can maybe throw an absolute curveball, and maybe show the Fiend there, to maybe resolve that, take Alexa out, and then, you sort of leave that for a little while. And then in the main event, we've obviously seen the Fiend return at this point. Maybe we see the Eater of Worlds gimmick, the cult leader version of Bray Wyatt, return. Maybe cost Roman Reigns, attack Roman Reigns. I don't think Reigns is dropping the belts. I've mentioned this in the predictions video previously. But if Roman Reigns wins, assuming he has the two belts, Cross comes in, intercepts, attacks McIntyre, costing him the match. And then of course we see literally Bray Wyatt in his cult leader version. Now we know they have history way back. Last time Bray Wyatt lost to Roman Reigns, of course, was Hell in a Cell, 2015. And you could have this whole point where, you could have a fresh dynamic with that storyline, real strong character build throughout the time. We could even see a new incarnation completely. And then ultimately down the line, when he needs it most, when he needs the most power to get his revenge on Roman Reigns, we see the Fiend. We see the Fiend. And yeah, that could be the time longer term down the line where we see maybe the title come off Roman Reigns via the Fiend. But there's so many other ways you could book this. This is just off the top of my head. I want to get your thoughts and opinions how you could book it. Do you think a three faces version of Bray Wyatt could serve well within WWE? Yes, there's a lot of fantasy booking going on there. I get a little bit carried away after quite a few coffees, but it's interesting. The likelihood, of course, is we'll see the Fiend come back. Sort of goes after Roman Reigns. Makes kind of logical sense storyline wise, but what if there's a deeper meaning to this? What if there's various versions of Bray Wyatt? I love it because it just brings way more variety to the character, keeps things fresh, doesn't overexpose certain characters such as the Fiend. And wow, you think of merchandise, you trebled your different avenues of merchandise, haven't you? Because there's literally three faces. That'd be so cool. Just imagine three versions on a t-shirt. That'd be money, literally. top merchandise seller, certainly coming up when he returns. But what do you think? Again, all your thoughts and opinions are welcome. Get down in the comment section, share your thoughts. How would you bring him back? If he came back at Clash, how would you bring him back? If he comes back in numerous premium events down the line, how would you book him? Always welcome your opinion. Thank you so much. As always, be really appreciative if you can like the video, and of course, even better, subscribe if you're new. See you in the next video, which is going to be a video I'm going to film on the day at Clash at the Castle. A little bit of an insight, and hopefully that Fiend comes back. We'll see. See you soon.